If you're over 55 and someone says a little phototherapy patch on your skin might help, you should be skeptical. I was. Then I remembered my grandbabies with jaundice under lights in the hospital, and I saw something in the research I could not ignore. Let's just say this out loud. You hurt. Maybe it's your back when you stand too long. Maybe it's your shoulder when you reach out. Maybe it's that deep, tired feeling that just never fully clears. You still carry your load. And the answer you get over and over is that's just aging. You're not weak. You're not making it up. You're just tired of being told to live with it. Look, this is not a sales pitch. I'm not a medical professional, and this is not medical advice. What I want to do here is simple. I want to show you why a little phototherapy patch could make sense. Show you what some careful studies found about a tiny copper repair signal in your blood. And then, if you want, you can click a link later and learn more. No pressure, no big promise. Just one more option you may not have heard about. Think about people our age. Most people do one of two things. They either give up and say, this is just how it is now, or they chase every loud miracle cure and get burned. There is a smaller group that does something different. They stay curious. They look for simple things that work with the body, not against it. They listen when a doctor says, we saw something in the lab that we did not expect. They don't believe every claim, but they also don't shut the door on something new. If you're still watching this right now, you might be in the third group. Now let's talk about light for a second. The idea of using light to help the human body is not new or weird. People in old cultures used light on purpose for skin troubles and mood, long before they knew about science. In the last 100 years, doctors have used special lamps for certain skin issues. We know sunlight on the skin helps the body create vitamin D. That little sunshine vitamin supports bones and affects overall wellness. And then there's the babies. Today, when a newborn has jaundice, doctors often put that baby under blue lights. This is standard care now. The light helps the baby's body change that yellow stuff so the baby can clear it more easily. They cover the baby's eyes, they watch closely, but they trust the light. For me, this is personal. My grandbabies were born early, they were tiny, they lay under those bright lamps in the hospital. Nurses used light to help their little bodies do what they needed to do. No pills, no shots, just carefully used light on the skin. So when someone says light on the skin can help the body, I don't roll my eyes anymore. We already use light in various serious places like the neonatal intensive care unit. Now let's talk about a tiny thing in your blood that most people have never heard of. Back in the 1970s, a biochemist named Dr. Loren Pickert was studying human blood. He noticed that when older cells were put with blood from younger people, those older cells started acting more like younger cells. They made proteins more like young cells do. He went hunting for the signal behind that. What he found was a very small copper peptide called GHKCU. In simple words, it's a short little piece of protein made of 3 amino acids plus copper. It lives in human blood and tissue. It's part of the human body. It's not a drug. Over the years, many research papers have looked at this tiny signal. In fact, if you go to PubMed on the internet and search for GHKCU and/or copper peptides, there's a big library of papers, and you'll see some things that come up, themes that come up again and again. In lab work models, GHKCU is linked with the body's own repair. It has been, it has been seen to support normal tissue remodeling. It has been seen to help skin act more like younger skin. Some studies show it supports the growth of blood vessels and nerves in the models. There are gene studies that suggest it can nudge thousands of genes towards repair and protection patterns. Now, listen carefully to this. That does not mean that these peptides cure anything. It does not mean that you will get any certain result, but it does tell us one big thing. Your body already has a built-in repair signal. GHKCU is one of the ways your body says, help is needed here. So, what does a little phototherapy patch have to do with copper peptides and GHKCU? A few different studies asked a simple question. If people wear a phototherapy patch on their skin, does anything change in their blood? In one early pilot study, a small group of adults aged 40 to 81 wore a patch for a week. Blood was drawn at the start and then at about 24 hours and again at day 7. The labs looked at GHK and GHKCU in the blood. Within about 24 hours, one form of that signal went up in a way that did not look like random chance. By day 7, the copper form GHKCU also showed a rise that was statistically meaningful. That was just a small first look. So they did more in a larger double-blind trial. About 60 people wore a real patch or a fake patch. No one knew who had which, not the staff, not the people. Blood samples were taken at different times, and when the blind was broken and the numbers were checked, the group with the real patch showed a bigger increase in GHKCU over time than the fake group. The statisticians looked at the data and said, the difference is significance. In simple words, the odds were low that it was just random. Again, this does not mean a cure. It does not tell you what you will feel, but it fits the bigger picture. Light on the skin can send a signal. Your body already understands that signal because it uses GHKCU as part of its own repair language. Now let's step out of the lab and into real life for a minute. In the testimonial stories I've read and heard, people describe all kinds of changes in their daily comfort and in how their body feels. One doctor, an anesthesiologist with decades of experience, started using this patch in her own circle. She said, I have never seen in 30 years of medicine what I've seen with this patch. A chiropractor who runs clinics for years with all the usual tools, lights, devices, hands-on work, started seeing shifts in how her clients felt when they added this simple patch to their daily routine. Other people talked about how changes in how they move during the day, how they recover after they do everyday things, or how they rest at night, how clear their mind feels in the morning. To be clear, these are not stories. These are stories, not promises. Not everyone has these changes. But when you start to hear the same patterns over and over from regular people, from doctors, from chiropractors, and then you match that with what the blood tests found about GHKCU, you get a picture. Something real is happening. What that something will be for you, we do not know. But it seems worth at least listening and learning about. So here you are. You hurt, you're tired. You've heard this is just aging more times than you can count. And now you're hearing about a tiny phototherapy patch that sits on your skin, sends a signal, and is linked with a natural repair molecule in your blood. Most people will do what they always do. They will scroll past. They will say, That's interesting, and go back to the same routine, the same pills, the same story. A smaller group will say, I'm still skeptical, but I'm not done looking. Both choices are okay. You're allowed to question everything you've been told about what is normal for your age. You are allowed to be careful and still try something new. You are allowed to say, if there is a gentle tool that may help my daily comfort and nothing enters my body and there is a money back guarantee, I'm at least going to read about it. If that's you, there is a link below this video. You can click it and see how the patch works, how to wear it 12 hours on, 12 hours off, and what the money back guarantee is. Individual results vary. No one can promise you what your body will do, but you do not have to give up on your body. Not yet. Before you go, I want to hear one thing from you. In the comments, answer this one word. What do you miss the most? Sleep, energy, focus, comfort, or just type the word. People who stay all the way through the end of the videos like this are usually not chasing hype. They are just not ready to give up on their body or their future. Read the page below and click on the link below. If a friend or loved one came to mind while watching this video, then share it with them. Think about it. If it feels right, test it and see what your body says over time. If not, you'll still learn something important today. Your body has its own repair signals, and light has been helping human bodies for a very, very long time. Thank you, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.